You are now tuned in to Damn Good Advice, a podcast where we bring you the cream of the crop in finance, relationship, and all-around life information from special guests. Remember to share this podcast, and if you're listening on YouTube, go ahead and like and subscribe while you're at it. Welcome back to another episode of Damn Good Advice with JD Lewis. I'm here today with Heather Watson. She is the founder of Southern Apothecary and so much more. I'll let her tell you a little bit about herself.
Thanks, JD. It's good to be here. I have a PhD from the University of Alabama in analytical chemistry, focusing in mass spectrometry. I went on and did a postdoc in biochemistry. I've worked in industry in biofuels for a company in Tuscaloosa. We incubated a small business out of the University of Alabama. That was fun for about 7 years. When the R&D portion of that died down, I went on and I'm the managing director of Task Labs. Like you said, the CEO and founder of Southern Apothecary Hemp Extract, and I am now CTO in Birmingham at S1E2.
Wow, an extensive CV, I imagine.
Yes, it's been a lot of fun.
Well, sweet. Let's jump right in. Here on Damn Good Advice, we like to start things off with one essential question, and that question is, reflecting on your life, what is the best damn advice you could give yourself?
I would probably go back to when I moved to Tuscaloosa 2 weeks after I graduated high school and say, quit worrying so much when everyone asks what you're going to do with your life. I'm 43 and I still don't know. People say life's a journey and not a destination, but it's true. It sounds so cliche, but I'm still figuring it out, and you can't predict where you're going to go. You don't have to worry about what degree you're getting. You don't have to worry about where you're going to live. We have the freedom to choose at every fork in the road. Yeah.
Going back to that quote, what was that quote you just said? Life's a journey?
Life's a journey, not a destination.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does that quote mean to you?
Well, once you get there, you're dead. So you really do. It is really about enjoying the moment. So all of the 18 to 25s are trying to figure out what they're going to do or what they're going to be. And they're missing out on a super fun time in their life because they always want to get to the next step.
Interesting.
Instead of just enjoying the people and just showing others kindness and giving themselves some grace in that time, because it seems like you're supposed to get somewhere.
Right.
And you don't have to get there. You are where you're supposed to be. Relax.
Yeah.
Quit pondering so much about the decisions that you're making. I have an 18-year-old. She's graduating tomorrow. And she's been fretting over, what do I declare as my major? Where do I go to school? All of these things.
Right.
They're all good choices. These are good problems to have. So don't worry about it so much.
Sweet.
And you don't have to know what you're going to be when you grow up.
Right.
I still don't know.
That's a great piece of advice. So let's dive into our topic. Today, I really wanted to focus on some of your business ventures because you are very entrepreneurial. Digging into the business side of things, how difficult was it for you to start that business initially? Like, what were those steps like?
A great resource, if I can share resources with people who are interested in things like that.
Go for it.
The Small Business Development Center. So I believe that all states have state-funded resources like that. The SBDC for Alabama is funded by taxpayer dollars, from what I understand.
Right.
I believe it runs through the University of Alabama, but SBDC is a free resource to people who are starting up a small business, and they will actually go step by step. Like, how do you get an EIN? How do you even know if you can name your business something? How do you know if it's a conflict of interest with someone else? Going through the Secretary of State. Like, they give you a checklist and they tell you what order to do it in, all the way through getting a checking account. Like, it's so laid out. And they offer resources, like if you already have a website, they will run it through these software programs that will analyze it and tell you how to appear higher in like a search engine. So search engine optimization and how to change certain keywords. Like, they're so helpful. So I can't recommend SBDC enough.
Phenomenal resource, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So that's where you initially started. How did you find out about the resource yourself?
I was referred. So I was already in the startup space 7 years, and I had incubated one out of the University of Alabama. So they had connections. Some people that had started that company, they had connections with SBDC. So I did not hear about it naturally. It wasn't something I went to Google and found. It was just a connection. I know that the Innovation Depot they have SBDC resources as well. So it's very helpful for people who are already in the space. But if you're not and you don't know where to start, that's kind of hard to get into.
Indeed. So for the young entrepreneurs out there, look into the SBDC. It's a great resource for aspiring founders. So we understand that you do Southern Apothecary with the CBD, and it's going great for you. What brings you to the Innovation Depot?
So I have a friend that has started a company called S1E2, And I was consulting with him off and on. So I have a consulting business too, Watson Tech.
Awesome.
So you learn over the years as you network, you're like, oh, I could get paid to go help somebody, short term here and there. And so you just start a little LLC for your consulting, right?
Yes.
So I was up here. It's really good as a scientist to have someone to bounce things off of. It doesn't matter how smart you are. You don't know everything. And just being able to bounce it off of somebody else can really smooth off the edges of a project or an idea as you're working through a patent or a formula. So I would come up here and help my friend John Brown with Stenco. I would help him, kind of overcome some of those hurdles as he was formulating and patenting things. So a huge problem in the environment is, and for your body, are things called PFAS. They're per and polyfluorinated alkyl substances.
That's a mouthful.
It is. I had to slow down and remember what it even stood for. But they're PFAS, and if you look it up, you'll see that it's in all of these takeout packaging, which is a huge problem, especially since COVID. You've had the single-time use plastics and paper products and all this takeout. You can sit down with one takeout meal. One person might have 20 different pieces of one-time use products sitting there in front of you. Think about your ketchup packet and your plasticware and the plastic that it was wrapped in and all of these different things. Even if you go somewhere that you think is more green or earth friendly, that has like the brown or the tan paper cups, a lot of times those things, to keep them from being water permeable, they'll put coatings on there that commonly it was petroleum based, like waxes. But now they're doing things called PFAS, and they are building up in your body. We're starting to learn that they're very hazardous to your health and life. They're being stored up in your body. They're not being eliminated very quickly. So these are things like your takeout containers, the full wrappers around a chicken sandwich. You think that it's like paper, but there's these molecules in there that are really bad.
What are some of the potential long-term effects of these PFAS?
So PFAS exposure has been linked to a growing list of health problems like immune system suppression, lower birth weight, increased risk for some cancers. So it's pretty bad when you're just thinking about, okay, this was a salad bowl or a wrapper around a chicken sandwich.
Yeah,
you're not even talking about like drugs, right? You're talking about your wrapper on your sandwich.
Wow. Those health effects are insane. Of course, cancer. I feel like everything causes cancer nowadays.
Yeah, and they stick around forever. They're actually dubbed the forever chemicals. So it's not,
Oh, wow.
They don't break down. It's what gives those packaging the durability.
That makes a lot of sense,
yeah.
Right? Do you think when these PFAS were developed and put into products, they knew exactly what would happen?
No, they were invented in like 1938. I think it's a
wow.
27-year-old chemist, Roy Plunkett.
27-year-old
chemist.
He
just like stumbled across it, and it was like, he just knew it stuck around forever.
Right.
Who knew it would be applied to so many things and then end up in our bodies? And he has developed and patented a biodegradable coating that is food contact safe, fully biodegradable in the environment. So,
wow.
Yeah, we're up here working with large companies like paper companies, cardboard companies, different food packaging companies, single-time use. I can't say who all they are, but it's really cool. Yeah,
awesome.
Trying to solve the world's problems, right? Both in the environmental impact and in the health.
Solving the world's problems one plastic item at a time.
Exactly, yeah. So I ended up here in January, 3 days a week, and running Southern Apothecary in Tuscaloosa too.
So what do you like most about what you do?
I like that no day is the same.
Awesome.
I get bored really easily. So as a chemist, that's another great thing to point out. Even if you've chosen a major and it's like chemistry and you've gotten in the lab and you're like, I hate this, but I'm almost done.
Right.
Doesn't mean that's what you have to do for the rest of your life. Because I would have thought if you'd asked me with my bachelor's degree, I'm going to be in a lab, no windows, like writing in a lab notebook and measuring things all day, every day. I never do that. I never do that. I go into the lab and someone's working on it that enjoys doing that. They have that personality type, like an operator personality type. They're like, I love doing this all day, every day, and checking things off the list and going home and leaving my job there. It's just not me. I like to go and see what they've discovered or see what progress they've made and what roadblocks they've come into. And then I like to go, how can I solve that problem? That is my most favorite thing to do, is to solve problems.
Solving
problems. If someone
problems.
runs into a roadblock and they're really frustrated, I'm like, I'll take that. So I wanted to attack that problem and then move on and then not do the same thing the next day. So that's probably my favorite thing. And I like interacting with people. So I get to interact with a lot of other researchers, developers, people who, acquire businesses, and that's just their fun thing is to flip companies. Like, I like to interact with all of these people from all over, especially older people. I like to learn from them.
Do you have any special quotes? Any favorite quotes?
No.
Well, awesome. We do have a quote for the most part. Life is a journey, not a destination. Is that your own quote? Did you coin
No,
that?
that's I guess I'm just old and you've never heard it. But it's pretty common for people.
So it's a saying. It's
like
a common
the
saying.
geriatric age like me, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I believe Joe Dirt said life's a garden, just dig it.
Oh, okay. Life's a garden, just dig it. Sweet. Well, it's been fantastic having you on.
Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Damn Good Advice with your host, JD Lewis. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe if you're tuned in on YouTube.